Hey, good morning. I hope everything works out fine. This is my first time going live ever on YouTube. I've done quite a few Facebooks, but my first time for YouTube, and I really didn't know how to do it. I was supposed to do this at 10 o'clock this morning. Come to find out, I didn't know what I was doing. So got it figured out now. So thought I'd start and pop in and show you. I'm kind of in my craft room, so that's why it's a little odd back there. But what I'm going to show you today is called Couture. This is one of the largest transfers that I've personally ever done. They do make a few larger. This is 18 by 14 by 18. I had to stop and think. So I'm going to do this transfer. I believe this might be showing backwards for you. I'll have to figure out how to flip that around for you. But I am doing it on one of Couture's chalkboards, the big chalkboards. So I'm going to be bringing the camera down on the screen. If you have any questions or anything, please leave it in comments. If you're watching live, let me know where you're tuning in from. And also, if you're not watching live and you see this on replay, go ahead and ask a question, because YouTube lets me know when anybody has any comments or questions or anything. Now, all I'm doing, this is in their packaging, so I'm going to open it out of the package. I'm going to stand up some and sit down some, and because this is a big one. And again, this is the biggest one I've ever done, so I'm kind of excited about that. I love the saying on it. This was a great saying for today. And it's dreams don't work unless you do. And then I'm grabbing this little towel that you need to, because these transfers, they're like stencils, but the main difference, in case you've never heard of them, because it's a brand new company. It hasn't been out very long. But in case you haven't heard of them, they're different than stencils in that they do have a backing. There is a paper backing on them. When you first get them, you take them off the backing, and when you store them, you put them back on the backing. You just peel this off. You want to kind of get a line going, so you peel either top to bottom or side to side. You don't want to go cross because they are vinyl and they might stretch, so you don't want to stretch it. So you just peel this off. And then I have a towel here because the backing on this is very sticky. And I don't want it to stick so much to my board that it's hard to get off, because that can happen, especially the very first time you use one. So I am laying this down. Let me bring you down to my tabletop here. Okay, and you can still hear me talking, unfortunately. This is just a towel. And you can it's kind of called fuzzing. You bring a little bit of the fuzz to the towel onto the backing of the transfer, and it just makes lifting it off much easier. I have transfers that I have used up to 5 times so far, and beautifully. I've still got more uses out of it, I could tell. But sometimes when you're doing it, you want to make sure that your backing stays stuck. And I've stuck that to itself, and that's not something I should have done. But I do know how to correct it if you do this. And this is why I'm kind of glad that that I'm able to show you guys, because if there's a mistake to be made, I'm going to make it. And you really kind of don't want that to stick. So what I'm going to do is move my towel. If it sticks, take your finger, put it into a little bit of cool water, and just kind of apply it and get it to kind of open it up a little bit. That cold water will get it to unstick to itself. Of course, I had to do this on a live video. This I have done when I've been cleaning them, but I have not done it when I actually want to use it. I can't believe I've done that. Okay, bear with me, guys. I'm sure I'm going to get some thumbs down on this one. These are very sticky, and you don't want to pull it so much that you distort it. And I wasn't quite expecting that to be that sticky. I'm going to get my pan of water here. I have a water bath right here. Okay, I'm going to change this completely. Because once you get it wet, you don't want to use it again until it dries. It doesn't take long for them to dry. This is just a little bit of water in a plastic tub. But this is what you do if you get it stuck onto itself. You can use that water and just let it slowly, carefully unpeel from itself. And I have quite a few. This is an easy project. It's nothing very hard. But you do want to peel it off slowly. So I'm kind of taking my time with it. I don't want to do it too fast. I just keep one palm down and pull. There, I got it open. Woo, woo, woo. Okay, now I've got a nice wet transfer. And I don't want it to stick to itself. So what I'm going to do is actually lay it on my board. I always keep a lot of paper towels in the workshop. Now you notice there was a lot of stick. This thing is very wet. I mean, this was soaking in there, but did you hear the stick? So there's still a lot of stick to this. You can get these wet several times without any trouble. They are reusable. And you don't want to put a paper towel on the back either. I have done that before as well. So if you get them stuck, opening up a big one, that's how you do it. That's what you do to get them unstuck. Now I'm going to do the best I can to show you how I'm going to dry this so that I can go ahead and continue on. And the reason that I say that is because if you look at this, this is silk screen. Has a fabric in the middle of this. So that fabric is what the chalk paste goes through. I'm going to let that sit there for just a few minutes and see if I can kind of get this going and talk about it a little bit. Because I really want to be able to do this. But if you've got a lot of water in there, sometimes that water might mix. So you do need to have a little bit of time in between doing the transfers. Give yourself plenty of time to get your transfer dry again. Usually I dry it on a paper towel. I can dry it also with a blow dryer at a distance on a low setting because, again, this is vinyl. You don't want to melt it. I think I'm kind of about there, at least as far as where that's going to go. This is just a one color transfer, or I'm only going to be using one color. Of course, if you're doing this, you can use as many colors as you want. Okay, let's see if we can go ahead now. Kind of glad that happened in a way because it does show you all the little details and all the little things that can happen. Okay, putting down your transfer. And one this large can be the hardest part because I do want it semi-centered and I did not do any measuring before I started. I'm going to fuzz this a little bit more with my towel. That was what was causing my downfall to begin with. So hopefully I do it better this time. Because it's again, even though that's been in water, it's very sticky. And you can reuse these. The company says 8 to 12 times. I've heard of people actually doing quite a bit more than that. Like I said, pick that up carefully. I have done one transfer, I know at least 5 times. I have one small transfer. It's called Actually I Can. And I have tried it 5 times so far. And it's the one that I keep, it's the first one I ever did, first of all. And it's also the one that I want to keep track of how many times I use it. So I put a little tick mark on that paper backing so I know how many times have I used this. Now, this will be easier to lay out. The fuzzing also does make it easier to lay out since it's so sticky. Okay, just kind of lay that down. It'll move a little bit. Okay. You can pick up part, lay it down, Get it centered. And then come back up at the top and then go from there and lay it down. And then just use your hands and just smooth it out. You can re-pick up any place that you have any air bubbles, anything like that. Just kind of lift it up a little bit, lay it back down. Just rub your hands all around it. Okay, this is the Chalkology paste. This is not paint. This is actually paste, chalk in a paste type form. And this is the form it's in. It's about the texture of sour cream. It's water-based, so it does clean up. And also, the other thing that I like about it is if it gets too thick, you can just add a little bit of water and you're good to go again. Now, I am going to put a little bit of this across the top. You can see that all right? Make sure I'm not, I tend to work off screen sometimes. Want to make sure you're in the screen and you can see this. Okay, and you had a chance to see what happens if I stick my transfer together. Just put it in water and unstick it. Okay, this is the large tool, and I was excited. The first time I've ever used it. Haven't even used it on this yet. This is a squeegee. And this just squeegees the chalk. Woo, I guess I'm halfway there. We'll run this chalk down through your transfer. So what it's doing is filling up the areas where that's open. It's open due to the fact that it's kind of a silk screen rather than the actual plastic. So it opens that up and lets the chalk go through there. So I'm going to put about the same amount, maybe a touch more, along this edge. Now, I could also just take this and go like this with my little rubber squeegee if I want to, but I really kind of wanted the sense of a silk screen. So I thought, oh, I'm going to do it this way. Let me know if you're watching also in comments. Have you ever seen anybody do silk screening? It's fascinating. I've always liked it, and I think that was why I was drawn to this, because it's like, oh, I remember watching people do silk screen. It's fascinating. And they do it super fast. When I was watching them before, I can tell there's might be a little bit of water in some of this area, or I may just not be getting enough chalk in there. One or the other. But again, I'm learning this stuff to show it to you so that you can learn and make beautiful things for your home. Okay. Now, what I love is even though this was big, you really used very little out of there. I mean, maybe a teaspoon, but I don't think I even used that much. You can scrape over that completely. Any excess, which there's not a lot, you can tell, but any excess you have, you can scrape it back into your pot. And then, again, you want to, lift carefully. You want to lift either top to bottom or side to side, or bottom to top. Ta-da! Now I'm going to lay this down in that bath so it doesn't stick to itself. And then come back and show you. I know that's at an angle, but even with my mistake, even with getting it on top of each other, it came out beautifully. No problem whatsoever. I just love it. Thank you for watching. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in comments, because YouTube will let me know that I got a question on there, and I'll pop in an answer. Thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.